All right. What's going on, guys? Finally get back to my Sunday grind of sweating tournaments. It's not actually a grind. Technically. You want to get all technical. It's not a grind. How's everybody doing? All right. We're actually getting on at a reasonable time to watch some of the Millie tonight. A lot of times we've been getting on lately. There's like 6, 7 tables left, but there's still 114 players left, which is what, 12 tables? 13 tables. And that's actually quite a bit. We're gonna watch them. There's 58, 89 entries. Actually, only 48, 24 unique entries. There was actually 1,000 rebuys. They've been needing to enter that rebuy in order to meet the overlay, but I don't know. The 48, 24 is actually pretty close to making their guarantee to begin with. So that's why it's going a little bit later tonight. Hopefully, it doesn't go too late. Mark Davies, how's it going, dude? Getting that old first in there. Very nice. So we got Via and ICOM at the same table in the Sunday Million. And let me tell you, I would not want to be a fun player in that situation. Both of these players having a lot of late game experience. Down to 113. So the next person that busts will collapse a table. I've got 4 of them up. I guess I could open up the other ones. Throw them off from the other screen. Actually, I think I'm going to do that. Go ahead and do that. Open them up. Put them next door. Gonna move these to my other monitor. Alexo Exo. Nice, dude. We're gonna bring that up in just a moment. Alright, so I got one too many over here. So move this out of the way. And maybe we'll move Suzuki out of the way. I won't 650. I won't. $4 2.5. There it is. But let me look at it. It might not. It might be like, you have too many tables open. No, it's good. Right up here, we got Alexo Exo. Yes, I did. I didn't get to watch it on stream. I actually didn't even get to watch very much of it. But I did see that he was running deep, and of course, I got nothing but well wishes for Travis. He's a great guy, and obviously, I'm always rooting for him. Unless I'm in the same tournament, then I hope he gets second, or we can chop. Via strongly considering this 200K to call. There's an extra 200K just kind of sitting there, but he still makes the fold. He's like, no, I'm not going to be 40% here. A lot of times that means he's got a pocket pair that's maybe medium, and he thinks that there's a really good chance he'll be looking ahead to a better pocket pair. Although a lot of times when you're facing a shove like that, they don't want to see the flop. So, Mark, I actually don't even know if I really need mods. All I do is talk. So it's pretty easy for me to keep up with the chat. But Shora, how's it going, man? I imagine you're knee deep in a hyper right now or something. Exo facing the king, jacking an 8 on the board. He got raised. That is what happens when you bet out of position. Now, let's keep in mind that that was a min re-raise. Min re-raise from his opponent. But the Millie's not the only thing we got going on. Of course, Alexo's $4 here. We got Greenstone 25 in the Sunday Grand. That's the red felt. There's 28 players left, sorry. Got 4 of those tables up. Got aces versus king, queen. That is a tough beat there. Ends up turning it into a full house. Not that it really would have mattered. It was just a pair versus a non-pair. Nurlux is deep in the millie. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Find this Nurlux. 6 out of 107. You can bring up his table if you want. We'll move this one out of the way, and we'll find Nurlux's table. This one. There is Nurlux right here. And his pocket fives, he put his real name as Nurlux. That is funny. That is funny. Alexo is going to ladder up in his $4 deep stack. Jack 9 versus King 7. I don't know what King 7 was even doing in this pot. Oh, that explains it. He had a king and he had one big blind left. Okay, that is exactly what should happen. Exactly what should happen. That means everybody's guaranteed $57 now. Alexo is the shortest stack left in the tournament. Got 1/4 of the chip lead. 673 up top. That's what we're hoping he gets. Thanks for your money. His final table, the Sunday warm-up. No, there is no Sunday warm-up. Oh, you're saying he shipped it. Okay. Well, he's going to have a great night then. Got 10 players left in the big 215, including Dino Supremo, Gusma, Sit and Go Wonder, and Carpendium 200. King Jack suited. Oh, boy. He had a gut shot, but it ended up being just a pair on the end. That is the second King on the River I've seen tonight. There was one at this table a little bit earlier. Let's see if I can go back and find it. I think it was Pils that picked up the king that he didn't exactly deserve. Yeah, here you go. Got a King 9 versus Queens, and not all that great, but you can see how few big blinds he had there to shove with, probably less than 10. So he had King 9, and just happened to have an under-the-gun raise with Queens there, but ended up sucking out on the river. Can't go wrong with that. How's it going, Great Bluff? Always good to see the greatest of bluffers in the chat here. Our Dutch friends are going to be upset. 2 pair on the flop are going to knock out Perry Medsgen. I think he's Dutch. Might be Swedish. Oh, he's Swedish. Not bad. I guess that JS sound is quite Swedish. It's not Dutch sound. It's not diphthong, is it? A consonant sound there. Vadanos facing a bet here. Queen Jack really just should have shoved pre. Decided not to. Might have got a fold from the Ace 9 suited. Maybe not. Small pickup for Vadanos. A limp from the button, a limp from the small blind, and a check from the big blind. This is dangerous territory. Obviously, you don't want to be limping in those situations, but whatever. Alexa saying, let me double and playing against the guy 3xing under the gun with 20 big blinds. Yeah, I think where you're going, you just gotta double up and that's it. My daughter's off at camp, so I get volume all night. How's the new job? I love the new job. Absolutely love it. There's later hours, but you know that's part of being at a startup. Looking pretty good for the Queen Jack, but not good enough. He was actually favored to win post flop, even though he had the worst hand. Really needed a pair or a club. Maybe a backdoor straight draw, but couldn't find any of it. In the Millie, you've got Of Brave Tight and Suzuki 234 at the same table. Via short stacked against TCG. Isn't he, though? Like a scuba diver. I think that was a bluff. I think that bet was a bluff. Unless he's on, like, ace-jack, ace-queen suited, or ace-king. Yeah, I think TGC is going to bet here and Via's going to fold. Unless he's going to check raise. He might even shove on a bluff. I mean, that's one of the ways he gets deep. Check, check. Well, TGC is going to be upset if he had, like, two pair that just let a flush get there. Via sensing weakness. I think this is a bluff again. If TGC hero calls or shoves it. Well, there's the raise. Alexo saying, I stole some blinds and Annie's. Yeah, I think this is a fold from Via. He's Hollywooding. Unless he's, yeah, it was a pure bluff. He just had to make it look good. Lexo sitting at 155K. Blind currently 12K. It's 13 big blinds for him. There's one person, I guess two people maybe that are kind of short. Most people are in the 400K range. One at 300 and one at 200. 150. Via with the 6-7. Oh, God. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He was behind anyway. And, whoa, what's this? What is this? Now, this is weird. How's it going, Quakerell? Good to see you. See if I can show you this right here. So you can see the mouse right here. Watch what happens. As soon as I move it over there, it disappears. See that? That's so weird. I'm going to have to look that up and see why that's happening. Terrible answer. Terrible answers. Wow, there's such terrible answers on the internet. We're going to go to the handy dandy control panel. To change mouse settings. Weird. So it shows where it is, but it can't find it. It's only behind PokerStars windows. Nice, Quakerell. That's great. I wonder if it's something to do with PokerStars. Wow, there's so much bad advice on the internet. But it was working earlier, so I don't know what changed. God, that's so annoying. I can use it, but I got to use this control thing to find it. Every time it does that, that's where the mouse is. See right here? You see where it is? So I press control and it finds it. Then I move under here. Wow, that is super annoying. I don't even know. I might have to like restart my computer and I gotta open everything up again. That's gonna be super frustrating. Actually, I have my old mouse upstairs. I'm gonna go grab it. Hey, check that out. This mouse, it works. That mouse, it doesn't. That's just stupid. But that's the fix. What's my analysis on John Hess? Surely I disagree with the topic at all. Poker world's gone crazy. Um, I think that if you have a play style that is difficult to predict, you should use it to your advantage. I haven't had a chance to watch too many of his hands, to be honest. I started a new job this week, so I haven't exactly been following the World Series. But I think good for him. Uh, oh, is that true, Alexo? Oh, you got to walk though. That sucks. Ah, just cruising through life. How's it going, man? Working for a living. Sounds good. I'm gonna cut into my my cheese a little bit early tonight. In fact, let's update. I'm gonna go edit cheese. Tonight's cheese is Grascas. Say a cheese that my cheese sensei as I will love. Find out. Go. Ooh, three-way all in. Nines, ace king, and ace queen, and ace on the flop is going to invalidate that pair of nines. Of course, ace queen was so far behind. Uh-oh. Lexo might, Oh, no, that sucks, Mark. That should have let me know you were, playing. I'd be more than happy to bring you up. Jack 5 suited. Oh, dear. Gets us straight. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I thought we were going to see Alexo double up. Or not double up, ladder up. What was Jack 5 suited even doing there? Really? It's not a standard shove. Not what I would call standard. By any stretch of the imagination. This is what I'm up against. How can I expect to win? We got plays like that. Like that's not it's not my game. My game is one based on theory and probability. And their game is based on sucking out. How can you beat that? Play bad, get rewarded. Alright, let's try this Grascas. It's very good. It tastes familiar. It is like a tangy edam. That's what Kim said it would be. Now let's jump into this this beat the clock. Love those beat the clocks. They fit into the 5-minute break pretty good. Although this one took a little bit to get started. Oh, they put so much drama into the beat the clock though. And, like, of course it's going to be 5 minutes. It's always 5 minutes. 2-6, not what I'm about. Ace-3, I can shove on that from the small blind. Folds to me. If Lee Poker shoves, I'm not sure. I don't like it, though, full. Later in the game, I would have, but... Pocket tens, we're going for it. Right, we're dodging a jack. Oh, he hits 2 pair, but we got a set. Oh, he hits... Oh, we get a better full house. That is great. He's got 7s full of jacks. We got 10s full of 7s. I guess we'll check this terrible hand. Is he just using this to eat up time? I'll do that too. Couldn't get him to fold, even though, like, of course, we were splitting. Do I shove this or fold this? I fold it. Jack 8 suited, my favorite hand. Of course, we're getting that in there. It's got some equity, believe it or not. But with a bigger stack, it's just fold equity. Here we've got a king. This is the only one we're worried that might actually call. But that was just a steal. This late in the game, a lot of people are just trying to stay alive. Now, with this guy sitting out, this guy's definitely going to call anything we shove. So we'll just tank and buy our time. Suited king. See if they want to shove on us. No, we got to walk. With that guy sitting out, that really helps. What's he doing sitting out? It's really weird. We have suited connectors. If we shove, we'll get a lot of folds. We have some showdown value. The suited connectors. He just pissed away money. Why would he limp? Limp fold. We're just going to shove on this. With this guy sitting out, he'll fold a lot. We're going to fold this. Guess we don't have to fold this, huh? All right. Part of me wants to shove this so bad, but I know it's a punt. Suited connectors. Sure. Aw, man. He didn't fold right away. We do cover him, though, and that's good for us. See if Panther wants to call it. Nope. There's so much fold equity in this tournament. I don't think we're folding this for anything. All right, and there's a king. Oh? So we were ahead of what we needed, right? Yeah, we were at 38%. We were actually the most likely to win that hand. So I'm totally okay with how that played out. I think now our plan is to just tank the money unless we get like a brilliant, brilliant hand. No, Queen 10's a perfectly fine call in this situation. Remember, they only have 5 or so big blinds, and they're at the point where they either need to double up or get out of the way. And no, Queen 10 is a perfectly fine situation, or perfectly fine. Good. The tanking worked. How much do we get for that? Maybe $1.50. Alexo still sitting here. See, how much did I get? Yeah, I got $1.50. Yeah, $1.59 on the dollar buy-in. I'll take it. We just jammed the last hand, but I'm a fool. Alexo's saying, please give me those ladders. I'm trying to climb. Ace Jack versus Queen. Ace Jack versus Queen. Brutal. Ace Jack versus sevens. Huh. What a bluff from the sevens. Ace-Jack versus 10-9. 10-9 gets their backdoor. Alexa's like, this guy better bust. Like, Jamatai is putting on pressure for give me balls. Name. Give me balls or give me death. So you guys know that I like my cheeses milder, and usually that means having younger cheeses that haven't aged as much. This Grasscuss has aged for an entire year, and yet tastes like an 8-month cheese. No, 8-week cheese. Walls B in the big blind. Rue 400 on the button. Rue, somebody that we see quite a bit. Fifth pair, no good. That's so funny. Aces versus Ace 8. Oh no. Swallows B trading chip stacks with Knocked Lee 515. Under the gun open from Gus, who's right next to Alexo, getting 3-bet from the small blind, and he simply calls. I can't imagine a scenario where they don't shove here, given how close the stack is to the small blind's stack, or how much the pot is to a small blind stack. So if Gus raises even like 50, 60K, Meteor's going to have a tough time calling and not shoving. I mean, he can do it. He can be tough. There's the 50K bet we just talked about. We'll see if Meteor can find a call. He does find a call, which I find kind of interesting. And there's a lot of action on this turn. The board pairs, get that third heart. Now, like a backdoor flush draw might not be out of your league. Somebody could totally have a single heart, and the backdoor flush draw does get there. So does a straight. With Jack 10. Okay, so there's the delayed shove. I figured that was going to happen on the turn. And if this is a bluff from Meteor, I want to see a call either way. Because no matter what the call, somebody's going to be crippled, and Alexo gets to ladder quickly. Instead, it's a fold, and Gus loses a lot of the chips that he picked up from Snoopal. I mean, Alexo's like, I just can't ladder. Nurlux down here, seeing a 9-6-4 flop. That's not very strong. And Droven, ooh, to make a raise. Durden deep in the millie, another reg who's won a lot recently. Let's pick up Durden. Name sounds familiar, but maybe that's just because I'm a fan of Fight Club. Oh, yeah. Sitting in 7th place, Nurlux has fallen to 16th place. Although if he can pick up this pot, he'll be back up to 12th. He said he drops to 24th. In the Sunday Grand, Ace was all in. Ooh, Alexo facing a shove from Gus Loudon as brutal seal. Huh. Yeah, isn't that brutal? You get the walk with the kings and a small blind steal when you've got 2-6 offsuit. And you still got 6.5 big blinds, so you can make it happen. Nines versus ace queen. Nines looking ahead. The jack on the river. Oh, disgusting. The 4 outer. Come on. Come on. How? How? No. I object. If Snoop Owl can call the steal. This is the table that never ends. As it goes on and on, my friend. That's so bad. Alexa, you're doomed, man. You should just sit out. Just sit out. Oh, Alexo's got the shove with the under the gun raise. Ace Jack versus King Queen offsuit. There's a king on the flop. Got to dodge an ace. There's the ace. Can we pick it up? No. Oh, he even picked up the king. Ugh. Alexo Exo going out in 8th place for $57.77 on a $4 buy-in. Keep that in mind. That's 14 times his money. Ace 7 versus Ace Queen. The Queen looking good in the Sunday Grand. And that 7 is goodbye. People are getting $2,700 for their bustos right now. Looks like if you're a Thomas Lutz fan, Dragon Warrior, he went out in 31st place. He was the first person to go out in the money in the Sunday Grand. I'm Luckbox went out in 26th. He's another fan favorite. Nurlock's facing a shove here. He did call Vodanos. Of course, anytime you call, you open yourself up to being squeezed like this. And there's no point in tanking because there's no action behind. This means he's actually considering it. Dr. Awesome got Ace Jack up against 5s in the Sunday Grand, and that is not going to go good for him. Dr. Awesome going to be out in 20th for $2,700. Ace Queen versus Kings, looking for that ace. Now he's looking for a king. There's the king. Got to dodge the board pairing, and it doesn't pair for him, which is good. Of course, if the board had paired, then Nurlox would have lost. He would have had a straight, but his opponent would have had a full house or quad. Instead, Nurlock's going to be sitting comfortable in 8th place on his way to the final table. That being said, his 1.5 million chips pales in comparison to the first place stack, a Drobin RJ21 with 3.3 million chips. Adobe 333, another perennial on the stream. Nino putting in a bet on the flop, on the flop, getting called. Jack 10, the best hand here. Now, obviously, Ace 10 of spades, the best hand. Turns out Royal Flush is the best hand when available. Little bit of poker commentary there. the best possible hand is indeed the best hand. King Jack versus Ace Queen, 2-pair better than second pair top kicker. All right, let's check out this hand from the Supersized Sunday. You're going to have Tanta and SWE opening it up from the button, getting a shove from the small blind, only for 6 bigs. Going to get a fold and a call. It's going to be Ace-5 versus King-Queen. A king on the flop is going to be looking really good for Chopper here. Now with a jack, he's only winning on a queen for the straight. And he gets it. Now notice he couldn't get the ace, right? Because if an ace came down, then it would be ace, king, queen, and or jack 10 for the straight. So an ace doesn't save him. Only the 3 outer queen does. In this case, it's 2-pair versus a straight. Tanta FWE knocks out Chopper 100. And is there a bounty involved? There is. It's a Supersized Sunday. It's going to be worth $2,200. It's worth. And that's going to bring him to the final table of the Supersized Sunday. Let's go ahead and meet our players. We're going to have, in the 1 o'clock position, Max 72 Alba, the Russian in 3rd place. Looks to be the bounty leader. He's already locked up $9,000 in bounties. God's Mode with the Queen, not better than the set of 9s, which turned into a full house. Go around clockwise. God Help Please is in 1st place, even after losing that stack. He's playing for Malta. Sit Pro 2011 is in 8th, one of 3 Brazilians at the table. Triple from Poland is the shortest stack. He's got 800K in winnings, and we saw him final table the Mini Super Tuesday back in February of this year. After that hand, Triple's actually going to swap last place and second to last place with Sit Pro. Kaputenha, someone we've seen before, another Brazilian. Real name is Regis Cogler, is in the $1 Million Club. And the other Brazilian, Pedro Correa, that are known as Peter Wu, currently in 6th. I hacked RNG, the Serbian, it's Serb, I forget, in 5th place at the moment. Tantan SWE, the Swede, in 2nd place. He's got 4.4 million in winnings, and he's final tabled so many things I quit keeping track. And then we rounded out with the 4th place Latvian Sleepknot, who last we checked had 167K in winnings, but of course a couple big wins could easily bump him into the red tag. Going to put in a shove on Sit Pro. This would put Sit Pro at risk, but Sleepknot would also be heavily crippled if he did not win this hand. Instead, he's going to move into 3rd place. Under the gun raise for 2.5 big blinds from Kwaiko. It's also all in for that. Rue is going to raise to dissuade anybody else from going along. That's a min re-raise, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Swallows has to decide if he wants to fight for this. He could just call. He does just call. He could have raised to try to buy out Rue. Now, if he'd have done that, if Rue would have folded, any chips that Kawako didn't have enough to cover would have automatically gone to Swallows. So if he could have got a shove fold, but he wouldn't have folded King's Pre anyway. Rue, of course, just praying that Swallows had an ace, because then it would have been, you know, Ace X, or even 2-pair versus a set. Of course, the set wins. So Rue is going to knock out, what's his face there, Kawako. Kawako going to pick up almost $1,500 though for his 8 hours of grinding. Fish is my preference. That's a funny name. He puts in a small raise. The big blind is going to go along. We're going to have a raise of 275K. That's a lot for Fish to call with. Oh, hey, Albino. I didn't even see that message until Grateful was like, oh, yeah, what's up? Sorry about that. Obviously, good to see you, dude. Nines versus Ace Jack. Ace Jack had no chance. I wonder what fish would have folded. Probably a worse ace. Swallows and Rue going at it again. You're going to see a flop. It's a juicy one. Less than a quarter pot bet gets a fold out of Rue. Aces versus Ace 10. That's a good time to have aces in the big blind. In case you didn't know, aces were heavily favored there. I think it's a 30-70. No, it's a 91-9. Never mind. 2 red sevens. How many are left in the millie? Let me expand this and I'll tell you. You can see right up here, it says there are 67 left. If you go right above this, and you go right up to the Sunday Million in the green, it says 67. But if you're on mobile, that can be hard to see, so I don't mind making it explicit. Just wanted to explain in case you do have the resolution to see it and just didn't know it was there. Off screen, what a sick flop. Nines, ace 5, and ace queen. The ace on the river, splitting it for both of those players. The ace queen for Kabuta Joe. Now, of course, they had a pair of aces and sixes for the king kicker. Now we got 5 versus ace king. We saw this earlier when Dr. Awesome got out. No problem, red sevens. And of course, with 66 players left, that's going to be 63 of these 7 tables, so 8 tables left. In the Sunday Grand, Al Brawlin and Badias are going head-to-head. 7-high board, kind of draw heavy. Small bet from El Brawlin's going to say, look, you only played along for your big blind. What a loaded table this is. John Matthias, Sir Watts, El Brawlin, Greenstone 25, Ewequat. That's not the one I thought it was. There's another one that's got a similar name that's not exactly as hardcore, or is a bit more hardcore than this one. I think it's like EcoWatt. And then Badias. And, you know, Give Me Balls and Pardell are both in the 100K club, so they're no slouches, right? This is a very loaded second final table. Now, the other table is also pretty loaded with Fred Volp and Tech Kid. I don't recognize the other ones necessarily. The ace is ahead of the king jack. A backdoor straight draw available. There's a king, actually. That's going to be enough for Sir Watts to win. God help me, please. Still the only one with 3 million chips. Actually, the only one with 2 million chips. His second place looks like, yeah, 1.95 on Tantan. Ace Deuce versus Ace Queen. And Rue is going to be out. Blind versus blind. He figured his Ace Deuce was good. Guess he probably also factored in some straight equity. He could have got a straight. But And this is some good cheese. Yeah, beautiful cheese. So Peter Wu's going to open it up a little bit more than I'm in raise. That's like, what, 2.05 big blinds? I hacked RNG. Gonna free-bet. And this is all before you're even really in mid-position. Gonna get the shove from the chip leader. I guess it's only 1.5 mil effective, right? Ace King versus Ace King, and it's definitely going to be a split. Here's an Ace Queen versus King 10. Both hit the flop. A queen? No. A queen or a diamond would have kept the King 10 alive. Getting 3-bet down here. Brick's going to open it up from mid-position. And the cutoff, TGC. Didn't we see TGC in another tournament? Or was that at another table? Was TGC on the red felt for a while? Yeah. They're in the wrap-up. They're 27 out of 111 in the wrap-up. I'll keep that in mind. I'm going to look them up. When's the last time I looked them up? Back in March, they had 65K. Let's look them up again. I mean, if they're running deep in the millie and deep in the wrap-up, look them up and see exactly how good they are. Poker statistics. Paste it. They reset to earlier this month, and they've already got 26K. We're going to check them up on OPR. I don't think you can reset OPR. Oh, yeah, look at that. They had 243K last year and 200K this year. That's 447? 448? Yeah, they're playing way better than 65K. I call him with the jacks, looking good. Doubling up from fishing is my preference. Kabuta Joe raising from the big blind. Gettius92 opening it up from under the gun. He's got 30-some big blinds, so he can certainly do that. Of course, I call him just doubled up. See if he wants to put it back in here. And he's only got 13 big blinds. No, he's just going to tank fold. Of course, Ghost Capo is priced in to call, but lets it go anyway. Queens versus Ace Jack. Set of queens looking good. Not even an ace would it. Was he drawing dead? I think he was. Because an ace would have given Dewey a full house. Yeah, look at that. He's just drawing dead. Queens versus Ace Jack. Let's see if we can position this a little bit better. There we go. Kabuta Joe raising it up from the cutoff. Gonna get called by the big blind. 2 aces. There's a check. Kabuta Joe's pretty much guaranteed to c-bet and then get a fold from Ride. Yeah, pretty standard. Cash 3-betting from the small blind gets a fold from Pasango. Ooh, what's going on here? Geddes defending his big blind from an under-the-gun raise. Bicho under the gun decides to put in the shove. K-Hay kind of caught in the middle, and that's the danger of calling from such an early position is you can get squeezed like that. Ace King versus Jacks, the classic. There's a king, and just a Jack's going to say Ficho. The church holds for Geddes. Now we got queens versus tens here. This is an unfortunate spot for those tens. And no extra 10 shows up. Of course, there's only 2 tens to save you. And in general, you have about 10% per card you're trying to hit. If you got 2 cards, then you got 20%. I mean, about. I mean, you quickly do the math and just say, well, there's 50 cards in the deck, right? 50 cards in the deck, so each card is worth about 2%, and you're going to see 5 cards when it comes down. Now, it's a little bit different than that, but not much. Good approximation if you need to do the math live in your head. You can see hand on the supersized Sunday. Fairly even stacks. Got a raise from Kapotenho. Radinic makes the call with aces. What a bluff from Durden. Then they're going, did I get 2 paired? Did I get straighted? He's like, no, just know better. Very good hand for Durden to turn into a bluff, though. Draws that don't get there but could have are great ones to turn into bluffs. Small raise from Peter Wu. Santan's going to play along. Now it's up to Max, the only other player over 2 million chips. Both blinds are going to fold. You'd think that God Help Me Please would have been priced into call, but he decided not to. Going to get a C-bet from Peter Wu. This is out of position. You got to be aware of that when you fire out. Going to get a call. 3 hearts, also 6-7, or even 6-7 of hearts. We had 6-7 of hearts versus pocket 4s. That would be, or pocket 5s, even worse. It would simply be heartbreaking. Peter Wu puts in a large bet, and it's like he wants Tantan to fold. That could just be the story he's selling. Three 5s on the board now. You know, if you've got, say, King 9 of hearts, you're devastated. You're losing to a 5, a 4, an 8. Another 3/4 pot bet. Snap call! Queen 10 just saying, you know what? I'm going to pretend that I got it the whole way. Now, notice that Tantan simply called. And that's because having pocket kings means that, first off, he's doing better than a flush. But if somebody just happened to have a 4 or an 8, he's okay. But he doesn't want to open it up because if he raises, okay, so he can assume that he's winning, right? But if he raises, he might get a bunch of folds. But one, he's not going to get to see the information that's in the hand, which is critical at this stage. But also, there is the straight flush potential. There is the quads potential. He could lose. And the only people that are going to call him are the people that he's losing to. So why? Why put it in? If you're going to win it, just win it. Don't put yourself in a situation where you can only ever lose. Like, either you lose the hand or you lose the information. You know? What is he willing to turn into a bluff? Multiple all-ins, ace-king versus jacks versus tens. Kings do hit, but then there's a set of jacks on the board. A queen would have given those pocket tens a straight. that is in the Sunday Grand. There's now 3 empty spots at Fred Volt's table, and only 1 empty spot at Badias' table. So somebody from Badias' table is going to be coming over to Fred's table. I call it Fred's table because he's the chip leader at that table. I guess the other table is actually Al Brawling's. We have ace-6 versus 6s here. Trip aces on the board, looking pretty good. Or not trip aces on the board, but trip aces that Kashkas has, thanks to his ace and the 2 on the board. Have a 3 and then a king. Two overcards, lays it down. Disciplined Durden. That is some discipline right there. Got a small raise from Vadanis. QQ Lover putting in a raise to 8 big blinds and all in. Nurluck's, of course, afraid he's got the chip leader right next to him. Imagine that's a call. King Jack versus Jack Ace. There's a Jack on the flop that's not quite enough. A 10 would give Vadanis the win. Instead, he also could have taken a king. I think a 10, right? There's a queen there. Yeah. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. We got a 3x open from LVK. Big Blind saying, I don't know about that. I don't like that. Mono hearts on the board between Pasagno and Neek. Neek gonna fire off a bet from the big blind. Get a shove and a call. Kings versus aces. Ruh-roh. Not often are kings gonna be the hand behind. Pasagno, the Brazilian, vamoosing his way to 1.7 million chips. Nurluck couldn't find the extra heart. Going to be out of the picture. Would appear now that we have the 6 tables of the green felt, both tables of the red felt, and the last final table of the supersized Sunday, the blue felt. So we have all of the tournaments that we're planning to watch. Of course, we'll gladly move one of these off. If one of you is running deep in a tournament, just let me know and we'll bring you up. Kind of ace-10 versus kings down here. There's a 10. That's not going to be quite enough, though. Essentially a min raise from Defini. I snap, you cry. And imagine he's calling. There's the call. Jack 9, the best hand. Heart draw on the board. A little bit less than half pot from Defini. Defini does cover snap here. Takes the call. There's the 9. Jack of Hearts, a powerful card right now. Venture to say that Ace Jack of Hearts is the hand with the most equity. There's a banana. 2 sevens on the board, plus some paint between Mini and the chip leader. At least he was the chip leader. And with 3.5 million chips, I imagine he still is. Yeah, 3.9 million, actually, because you got to count the 400K that's in the pot right now. Now, Queen Jack, Queen Jack. You don't often see that. Of course, a club would have been a heartbreaker. Actually, Ace of Clubs would have been the most brutal. Maybe 9 clubs. Because then he'd have had a straight as well, and you'd have been like, yeah, there's no way I'm folding this. No Limits got the Ace Queen up against GZ with the Ace Jack. So far, the Queen is ahead. It stays that way. That's a double up for No Limit 5,800. Small raise from Triple. On the 6, 7, 8, 9 board. Don't know how much that King changes. Jack 10, the best hand, to have the best straight. Five also has a straight. Ace King versus Aces down here. And no backdoor straight draw for Tafini. Tafini going to be going out in 13th place. The first one to pick up 3,600. The next 3 people will also get that 3,600 before they hit the final table. Triple just gonna put it all in, about the same stack size. I hacked RNG now with 770K, less than 20 big blinds. Looking for a 5, also 9, 10, or how about some spades? Also, you can see the hole between Greenstone and Sir Watts, where Al Brawlin was sitting. That actually means that with 625K, Give Me Balls is leading this table. Gamateus is bluffing here so many times, but with so many chips on the line, can Sir Watts afford to do that? Tough call. Gonna have an open shove for 15 bigs from Kira. Aces versus sevens. He's looking for a 7. There's a 7. Got to dodge an ace. Dodges the ace. Sevens crack the aces. Swalls B has raised Nurlux, but then he got shoved on. He ended up folding it. That was in the millie. I didn't show it to you because they didn't call. There wasn't too much to talk about. Tan opened it up for a min raise, essentially, in the supersized Sunday. Got shoved on for a million chips and said, no thanks. Greenstone's all in for 8, 9 big blinds with the King Jack against Queen 10. They both flopped pretty well, but King Jack flopped better. Brawlin getting check raised by I Snap You Cry. Harl putting in a small raise with Badias in the big blind. Gonna get a flat from Give Me Balls. See if John Matthias wants to put in the squeeze from the small blind here. I doubt he just calls. A fold and a fold. I think Matthias could have afforded to put in a raise there. Whatever. Not still muted, am I? For some reason, it moved my microphone down the list. There we go. Wow, what a board. Any queen's got a straight, but of course there could be a set. Wow, 800K on a bluff. He showed king 10. He had two pair. Actually, just the king was two pair because the 10 that was nullified by the pocket jacks there. So an ace would have won if Durden had an ace. And of course the queen or a set, or like king jack, ace jack. For two pair to actually put in that raise, that is astounding. Like a single ace would have had aces and jacks, and he's got kings and jacks. I snap with the ace jack. Beats that jack 10 suited. A heart on the river would have been a little bit of a heart break. Of Brave Tight getting the steal pre-flop. Not too bad for him. Ace on the flop and on the turn from Durden here. Let's see if he wants to put in shove on Shakir. Now he checks. Did he check raises? Check shove. Three aces on the board. I'll be right back. There's only one little piece of this cheese left, and I'm going to run it to Dawn to see if she likes it. All right. So she likes it. I'm going to remember this cheese, and it wasn't even all that much. Where did the wrapper go? Yeah, that was $6.63 for 106 grams. That's a pretty good price. Wow, Kings versus Ducks. No duck. Now, interestingly, he had 9% on the river. 4.5% was in the deuces, if he could have picked up that extra deuce. The other 4.5% was in a 9 coming down for a 7, 8, 9, 10 jack. Also check the Micro Millions. That's still going? Where's the thing at the top? There's 18 players left in the Micro Millions $5 rebuy. Unlimited rebuys. Nobody we really recognize. There's one guy with 500K, and that's it. Love that bass line. Small raise from Kabuta Joe, who's picked up a lot of chips recently. If I bet, I'm good putting in a shove for 13 big blinds up. Brave Tight saying, yeah, I'll put my 18 in. We're going to see a four-way all-in. No, queens, nines, and ace-jack. There's an ace on the flop. Got to dodge the sets, though. Does dodge the sets of Brave Tight. It's going to be Outski. Going to pick up 1474. What you get? If you held on for 3 more, would have picked up an extra $700. Who's got the 10? Nope, it's going to be Jack, middle pair top kicker. The Dias with the 8s going up against the Jacks who pick up a set. This is in the Sunday Grand. That's going to leave us with, oh goodness. Hey, just a sec here. Going to leave us with the final table of the Sunday Grand. But before we get there, you got 7s versus Ace Queen, and Ace on the flop. Going to dodge the 7. Dodges it. So let's go ahead and introduce these players, some of which they don't actually need an introduction. Currently in first place, it's Fred Volpe. Real name is Federico. From Brazil, we see him at a lot of final tables. Going around clockwise, it's the 4th place Mexican, El Brawlin. We've seen him in final table a lot of stuff. Most recently, we saw him in final table the Super Tuesday back in February. Interesting note, he's got over 2 million winnings, and he's got a 10% ROI. Hardall77 is one of the 3 Brazilians. His real name is Andre. He's got 500K in winnings. We keep going. We've got João Matthias, another Brazilian. I don't even write how much he's got, but it's a lot. Rimlog, someone who's got hidden stats. He's from the UK. We've tried to find some info on him, but he goes to great lengths to keep it hidden. Next, we have POKER, the Swede. He's got 58K in winnings, so a little bit outmatched compared to the rest of the people at this final table here. Give Me Balls is currently in second, playing from Denmark. He's got 200K on PokerStars. I don't know why I have it written that way. Really weird for me to write it like that. So it makes me think maybe there's more information about him somewhere. I just never came across. I Snap You Cry from Sweden is in 5th place, 264K in winnings, although that was a quarter ago. That was before Scoop. Sir Watts rounds it out. He's from Canada, currently in 6th place. Got 3 mil in winnings, so according to strict winnings, he's got more than anyone else at the table. So congratulations to all of these players. Of course, if you'd like to join these players, I do have 2 open tables. Just let me know if you're deep in the tournament. I'd be happy to bring you up. So this is an interesting spot. I'm going to step away for a second. We got 5 people that are going after this. Max is all in. Knocking him out puts $4,800 in your pocket. And he's got less than a big blind left. So, of course, they want to see a flop here. Now, why Tantan didn't shove, I don't know. Because he'd get so many folds. But I suppose one person was going to play along, so He fires it out. Triple's not afraid to go somewhere. What do you do here if you have Jack 10? Tough spot. See if Tantan can fire out again. There's a half pot bet. Triple would be a third of his stack to call, and then he's still got to worry about what happens on the river. There's the Jack. So 9-10. Still the best hand. Was from the turn. 10-10 puts it all in. 9-10, he had the nuts! Wow! He snap called it. He's like, there's no slow play in this, baby. I'm not slow playing you. Oh, man. Beautiful play there. Still got a couple hands that are going here. I mean, aces versus the ducks. Deuces never loses, right? Well, looks like this time they are. That's going to be... Nurlock's pretty short on chips there. We're going to jump into a Super Knockout Hyper Turbo. We did this the other day, and we won it on accident. Let's try it again. Now, these do take a little bit longer than the break, but that's okay. I mean, if we're in it that long, that's great. Of course, we were going to fold at 3-8 suited, because it's not all that great of a hand. And people tend to shove pretty wide first hand. That's one of the reasons I don't mind being in the big blind, because I can kind of see what happens. You do sacrifice 10% of your stack when you do that, though. King 7 ended up winning it. Queen 10 does have some showdown value if this guy folds. He shoves, or I mean, he limps, so we're going to shove it because he shouldn't be limping things. See if he plays along. He does. We're way ahead. Now we're crushing it, and stay alive. Great. Pocket sixes, we're going to shove again. See if he limps. He does. A terrible decision on his part. Do get a call from this guy. Okay, we're behind. We need a 6 or a backdoor straight draw. 7. All right. The likelihood of somebody else having a pair was not in our favor. There were only 3 other hands, so we were only going to encounter another pair, maybe 1 out of every 5 hands in that spot. So we were definitely plus EV to shove there. Somebody else just happened to have one this time. Ace 10 under the gun, we're putting it in. We've consistently shoved with good stuff here. So I don't mind doing it this time. Of course, he's got a call. So we're really hoping to pick that one up. All right, we're ahead. And we hold it. All right. That's a double up thanks to that guy, and a knockout from this one. 5-9 offsuit. If he folds... okay, he shoves. If he folded, we potentially could have shoved. But now we need to open it up because this guy's got 45 chips. So, of course, we got to get that in there. And we've got ace 10. Beautiful. We're not folding this for anything. I don't care if this guy open shoves and covers us. We're shoving the ace 10. Because this guy's already all in. This guy is likely to call because he's already got a third of his chips in there. An easy question here. Now, he might call us just because he's got the chips to do it. He does. And we hit a 10. We've got the best 10. Somebody picked up a straight. Wow. Wow. That was nuts. I still feel that the ace-10 shove was the best option. Queen 5 calling, not a great decision. We were 40% to win that pre-flop, even though we were four-handed. When the ace comes down, or with the 10 comes down, we don't have the best hand, but really this is the only guy that we need to beat to stay alive, right? I mean, the amount of chips that we're going to this is so little that we're not particularly concerned about it. And then he hits his queen, so really we're only winning on an ace here, or a 10. So that was actually kind of shitty there. But what you gonna do? What you gonna do? We did get a knockout, I believe. Where's my lobby? Yeah, we had a knockout, so it wasn't a complete bust. Frosty Nug, how's it going, man? Good to see you, dude. We're just getting sucked out on. Four-handed, 40% to win it. There's only one person that covers us, and the guy hit two pair. What's funny is pretty much everybody had a piece of that flop, too. Yeah, everybody had a piece of this flop. This dude had bottom pair. This guy had middle pair, worst kicker with us, and this guy had top pair, second kicker. And then when the king comes, actually, with a king, we just flat out winning it? Or we're flat out winning with a king. Interesting. Anyway, cards are back in the air. Frosty Nugs is 10th out of 67 in a $1 PKO. All right, let's get that up there. Hey, check it out. What's this? We're going to open up our chest. Open up the chest. We get 8 stars coins and a weekly free roll ticket and 25 points. Sure. I'll just pretend to be excited about that, Poker Stars. If that's what you want me to do. So you got a min raise from the Australian here. Dwight calls, and that's why you got to be careful calling from the small blind there. Just get squeezed by the big blind. Mark says going a $100 game. No. Seabart putting it all on the line here. See if Sam Rolfe can call. He doesn't. Triple put in a small raise, and Peter Wu said, how about we put those, put more chips in the pot. Let's make this worth it. Slept through the weekly free roll today. I thought it was yesterday. Yeah, I've got like 4 tickets to the weekly free roll, and I never do them. Act putting in 2 of his 14, 15 remaining big blinds. There's a different free roll I slept through. Oh, my. One of them is 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday. I know. I hate that one. It is stupid. Like, I can be up at 7:30 on a Saturday. Come on. Don't work. Even when I didn't work, I couldn't do that. Like, how do you go out and enjoy a Friday night and be like, oh, yeah, I've got to be up at 7:30 in the morning for a shove fest? Come on. 6 a.m. Ugh. Disgusting, Great Bluff. Ace 10 versus Queens. Not looking good for the Ace 10, but hearts are a thing. Oh, disgusting. Disgusting. Ugh. Queens versus Kings in the millie. Looking for a queen to stay alive. No queen. Jonas is going to be out of the Sunday Million in 42nd place. He was in on 2 bullets, so that was $430 he had to pay, but he picked up 21.31. So I guess that was all right. $2,000, decent payout. King high board between Tan Tan and Triple. Of course, Tan Tan, the former chip leader, Triple, the current chip leader, and current bounty leader. Small raise from the chip leader gets 3-bet from Aussie Star, and they're just going to see a flop. Third pot bet from Aussie, and Droven says, what does he say? Which is something disgusting. I jumped into one of those $1 again. Check this out. So I'm going to shove with a suited king, 5-handed. I'm going to get called. 3, 5. So basically I'm dodging a 3, right? Pick up a 5 on the flop. I'm liking that. Okay. Ugh. Now we're splitting full house and full house. Technically, I got one more chip than he did, though, so who's the real winner? Small raise from Aussie. Vadanos, 3-betting from the button. Ooh, aces, ace, king, and jacks. There's a set of jacks on the board. Followed by a pair of kings. Oh, God. 2, 3, 4, 5 on the board for Nurlux. He had pocket aces and ended up winning the hand, not with just a pair of aces, but with 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, he was winning it anyway, but like, I am pretty sure we're drawing dead here. Yeah. Daddy's back, he says. Daddy's back. All in for 11 bigs. 1983 Sun. Gonna have an ace queen versus ace 10 up here. And without a 10 to save him, Sit Pro 2011 is going to be out of the Supersize Sunday in 7th place. Say that 7 times fast. There's an ace 3 versus 9s. Open-ended straight draw for TGC. Not enough. An ace or a deuce or a 7. No. How about nothing? Anyway, Sit Pro 2011 in the Supersize Sunday picking up 5,500 in winnings and 3,100 in bounties. You now have a multi-way all-in. It's going to be ace 4 versus ace king. Looking for a 4 to stay alive. Now with a couple kings on the board, that's no good. Frosty Nug says, I just ran into aces with kings and then lost a hand. Ace Jack versus ace 10. Ugh. That's right. I was going to bring up that right before the break. You said you had that going on. Let me see if I can find it here. Tournament. It was a $1 PK, right? This is Yeah, here you got Frosty Nugs with 176K, 17 out of 55. Seabark's all in again because that's what he does. I'm gonna check it down. Just check it down. Ace 10, ace 10. Eek. Ugh. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. A couple aces on the end. Al Brawlin putting in a third of the pot against Pardall, saying, yeah, he could call this. He could call it. He doesn't. Peter Wu's all in. These guys are crazy, shoving some real questionable hands. Did that guy just show ace king there? Did he shove it? No, he min raised and they folded to him and he showed ace king. Why show? Doesn't make sense. Yeah, this is a dollar buy-in. Anything can happen, right? That's why that guy called me with queen 5 in that last one, right? Ace and the king on the board. Oof. Peter Wu calls Caputo this time. He's been raising him a lot. We'll see if he trapped. $1,000,000 to call. Holds it. Ace on the flop between Albralin and Pardall. See if Albralin can try to convince him to call again. Couldn't last time. I'll be right back. I hear some dripping, and you're not supposed to hear dripping. Totally gotta go. There is a leak. Give me a few minutes here. Hey guys. Yeah, I really got to let you go. It's really bad, and Don and I really are gonna have to work with it. And there's gonna be a bunch of noise in the background even once we get it taken care of. So I'm just gonna end the stream, and yeah, we'll try again for Making Bacon Monday. How's that? Good luck on the felt. Make your good poker decisions, and we'll see you hopefully later this week.